Good morning. We are just waiting a couple seconds for everyone to join. We live here from Hearties, a beautiful sunny day here at Qriket. While we give our viewers a couple seconds to join, maybe pop a message, tell us, have you ever been to Qriket in Hearties? This is such a lovely place. Let us know, have you been here? This is definitely a place to come visit. People, if you haven't been, do yourself a favor. Come through to Hearties, visit Qriket, spend the day here. It is such a cool place. I see a lot of you haven't seen it before. Come through and come visit Qriket sometime. This is such a beautiful place. Okay, we're seeing some people joining. We're going to give it a few more seconds. Morning, everyone. I can see everyone joining and sending messages. And it's picking up quickly. Wow. So many people joining us today. Let's give it a couple more seconds for everyone to join. Okay, I think I'm gonna get started. We're very excited. Morning to all our HobbyX and Qriket supporters. I am Marlene Bosch from HobbyX, and I am so excited to welcome you to the final episode of this amazing Qriket webinar series. Qriket have been celebrating Women's Month, and today our host Martin, who is head of Middle East and Africa, will be joined by none other than Nan Day. Now, just to give you some background, Nan Day has lived a passion for creativity over the last 33 years. She started her journey creating gorgeous French-inspired pottery, evolving into furniture painting with the popular Annie Sloan chalk paint. Her successful business, Simply French, was established in 2003, and then Annie Sloan chalk paint came along, and in 2015, reinventing her gorgeous shop in 2016 so she could do paint all day, every day, after losing her son Mark in a fatal car accident. Painting helped her deal with grief, and you can see the healing power of creativity within each brushstroke she makes. We are excited to see how Nan is going to use Qriket in her daily life and business, evolving yet again creativity, empowering her creativity, all while inspiring others each day. Nan says, and I quote, "Every piece I paint shows my love for Mark. I love that what I do for a living is good for their planet too. Upcycling pre-loved furniture and breathing life back into every piece. My vision is to create a community to share, learn, discover, and be inspired. Nan, we can't wait to spend the next hour with you." I will now hand over to Martin, and please remember to stay tuned to see who will be the winner of today's prize. Martin, Nan, over to you.
Hello and welcome everybody. So my name is Martin and I represent Qriket for the Middle East, Turkey and Africa region. I wanted to start today just to actually say thank you and reflect a bit. We went on this journey with HobbyX to celebrate women in Qriket during the month of women in August in South Africa. And it's been an amazing journey. Not only did I meet a lot of amazing people, I had the privilege to host so many inspirational women myself, but I've been involved in different discussions and seeing different, communication between our members and partners alike. And it's truly an inspiring community that we do have. So I love doing this with our members. And I just want to firstly say thank you to all of our members. I am watching the chat next to me going viral. It's so cool to see how our members are always involved and engaged. And you guys are really inspiring. So thank you for that. I'm super humbled every single day by all of you. So I mentioned that we've had a lot of fun. I can't believe it's already been a month. We are drawing to a close on this webinar series. So we have one more special guest. I actually only got to meet her today. Her name is Nan Day. And I read something about that she breathes life into literally anything that she touches with a paintbrush, or the people that she meets. And I'm already a fan. I only got to meet her a couple of hours ago, and I'm really a fan already. So welcome, Nan.
Thank you very much. And I'm very happy to be here today. And I can't wait to show all your wonderful ladies and gentlemen that are on the webinar today. Thank you for attending. And I'm hoping to share some really exciting things with you.
I'm sure you are. But before we do start, I do want to share something with you.
Oh, wow.
As a big appreciation of not only you being here and supporting us on this journey, but also a celebration to you and women and what you do in the community as well.
Thank you. Thanks very much. These will definitely have pride of place in I'm not sure if they'll be at the shop or at my home. I think I'll enjoy them longer in the shop.
Awesome. We'd love to see photos of that. Okay, so Nan, before we get going, I'm going to ask the audience a couple of questions as well, get them involved. At the end of the webinar, we'll do a Q&A so they can ask us questions either to me, to yourself, or just in general. And we'll try and see how much questions we can get to. But before we get to the audience, what are we doing today? What I'm really excited to see.
So I've got a few projects that I'm going to show you guys. The first one is a stencil that I made, obviously using my amazing Cricut, and I'm going to show you how to do raised stenciling. So there's a couple of products on the market that you can use to do raised stenciling. I just buy the Dulux skimming plaster. So it's a plaster that's used to skim, I'm not sure if it's ceilings or walls, but that's what I use, and it works really well. So the idea is to create a raised stencil so that it can give you a little bit of dimension to the piece. So I'm doing it on a clipboard today, but you could do this on a piece of furniture, on the drawers, on the top, on the sides. So it's, it's not restricted to a clipboard. You can use it on furniture anyway. And you can also do it on your walls. If you've got bigger stencils, you can create a three-dimensional plaster, almost like one of those plaster casts on your wall, but using this and making your stencil with your Cricut.
That's very exciting. I'm pretty excited to see what this is all about. And I hope my wife is watching, because I think there's a couple of ideas that we can pull from of this. So I want to speak to the audience before we jump into that, Nan. I want to hear from the audience. We've now heard from Nan what she's going to be doing today. What have you guys been doing over the past week? What have you guys been busy? What projects have you been making? Jump onto the chat and let us know what you guys have been busy making this week. Nan?
Perfect. So can I?
You can continue.
Okay, so I've got a little bit of the skimming plaster on the edge of my, this is just a little plastic that you would use for putting putty on, or one of those. You can buy it at any hardware store.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can either put your skimming plaster at the top of your stencil, or you can do it like I've done it, where you've just put it on the bottom of this little thing. So now I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to go down.
While you're busy doing that, I'm just letting the audience know that we do again have a GoPro up here. So we will also be publishing other videos from a top view camera, so you can see exactly what Nan is doing here.
So what I'm doing is I'm getting it smooth. So I want the skimming plaster to be everywhere in the stencil, but I want it to be smooth. So let's have a peek. So there we go.
Oh, wow. So then I've asked the guys what they were doing. One of them said they were waiting for today's demo.
Oh, good. So I don't know if you guys can see, but there's the first little fern done. So I'm going to do this one on this side. I think.
And now you just wait for it to dry.
So now you got to wait for that to dry. So I'm actually want to overlap the stencil. So I've got a finished one where I've overlapped them.
Okay.
So I'll show you what that looks like, but I can't overlap them now because they need to dry. So I'm doing the same thing again. I'm just getting.
So then over the past 5 weeks, we got to learn a lot about a lot of inspirational people out there. And we want to get to know Nan as well. Can you maybe tell me and the audience, who is the real Nan? Where have you been? Where have you come from? Where are you going? Where are you today? We want to understand the real and raw, who is Nan?
Okay, so I've been lucky enough to do creative things to earn a living my whole adult life.
Okay.
So, but I have to say that.
Which has only been a couple of years, right?
Yeah. Quite a number of years. So I did ceramics for 15 years, and then I opened up Simply French, and we used to make a lot of our products for the shop. But now in the last 5 years, 6 years ago, I became an Annie Sloan stockist. And then 4 years ago, as you heard earlier, I reinvented my business so that I could paint all day. But the great thing about my business right now is that every day is different.
Okay.
In my ceramic factory, I would design the range, and then we would go into production. When I made and designed stuff for my shop, we would design it, and then it would be a production, not a big production thing, but it would be making the same thing.
Right.
Now I get to do something different every single day.
I can see the smile and excitement in your face when you say that.
This amazing Cricut machine, now it's even opened up more possibilities for me. So yeah, I'm very grateful to be in the space I am now. And I love my customers, and my customers, they know they can phone me at any time. They can come into the shop at any time, and I'm always there's no secrets. I'm always willing to share everything that I'm doing.
I love that. I think it's pretty unique and exciting that you, like you mentioned, you were quite lucky to be able to do something that for most of your adult life, something that you love. How did you discover that creativity? Was it for you, being creative?
So when I first had my children and I stopped working, I wasn't working, I decided to go for some pottery lessons. And that led to me opening up my own pottery studio. And I did that for 15 years. So it's not like I had formal training. I had informal training, and I worked for a couple of ceramic places first to learn the business.
Okay.
So being creative often poses a problem of you're not very good with the business side of your business. So I've always managed to make a living, but I've come to terms with the fact that if you are going to be busy, you've got to know that there's some paperwork that's going to come with it, and you've got to be prepared to do that.
Right.
So I've come to terms with that at this stage of my life. And also want to say to everybody out there, it's never too late. I was 64 when I reinvented my business. And I've actually got more energy now in my business than I've ever had. I'm completely focused, and I think if you're doing what you love, you don't even have to worry about the money. The money will come. You just have to feel that passion. And working with your hands, I think, is really special, whether you knit or sew, garden, paint, do your crafting. Working with your hands, you work because it's a three-way thing. It's your head, it's your heart, and it's your hands. And somehow or another, that calms your soul down. So everybody, when they know what I'm talking about, because when you're working with your hands, you're living in the moment, and nothing else, the rest of the world recedes. And so that's why it's also extremely therapeutic, and that's what it did for me.
I wish everybody was here, because I can literally feel your passion and energy coming through when you were saying that. What do you do outside of your work or creativity? Is there anything else that you're interested in?
I also love gardening.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, anyone that follows my Facebook page or Instagram page will see how I use flowers and plants in my photographs. So, and you can see today, everything's to do with plants. So I love plants. I think if I wasn't a painter, maybe there's still time for me in this lifetime to be a landscaper.
You said it's never too late, right? In your own words. Maybe
but I do love what I do now, so I can't see that changing.
Maybe you could do both.
Yeah, maybe.
We would love to see your landscaping as well.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of answered this question before, but do you how do you think creativity involves putting your heart and soul into it? So do you think you have to be super passionate about it, or do you have to put your heart and soul into it, or is it a lot of effort, or does it just come naturally?
I think you just got to start.
Just start.
And once you start and you feel that feeling of having created something, then you just want to do it more and more and more. And creativity is like a muscle in like any other muscle in your body. The more you use that creativity, the more creative you become.
Okay.
So,
would you say that there's something that inspired you to be creative? Was it the pottery classes that you mentioned earlier on?
I think right from a child, I was always making some. I've always been making things. So I've always made things, and I've always found great joy in making things.
Okay.
So that just, the pottery just, that's why it suited how my nature at that time.
Right.
Because I wanted to physically make things. So that's how I think,
Okay.
but it came from childhood.
That's awesome. Let's hear from the audience. What inspired you to become creative? How did you start your creative journey? Let's try and see. So what else are we doing?
Right.
Yeah.
So I've done the, just to show you how to do the raised stenciling. So now I've got a board where I've already done the raised stenciling, and I've overlapped the stencils to create this texture. And I've painted the top part. So now I'm just going to show you a little bit on the bottom how to paint this. Okay, so on smaller projects, I mean, normally I use a brush, but on smaller projects, I like to use one of these little sponges. Let's get the right color.
While you're getting a color, I'm jumping to some of the comments. So Rutandu saying, yeah, my creative journey is all centered around my kids. Somebody, Tammy Burta, have to agree. It all runs in the family. Nicola Mayer, always love being creative, especially with paper. Is there, so I guess, would paint be your favorite? A lot of people have a favorite.
Yeah, at this point in my life, definitely paints.
Okay. Is there something in your personal life that influenced you to choose your career?
No, I can't. It was just always, I knew I was always going to be making stuff or doing something creative for a living. When I left school, I didn't go and study anything. I didn't go to study anything to do with art. I actually worked in the fashion industry for a couple of years before I had my children. So color has always been, not that I love bright colors, but I love color.
Okay.
So I love them, you can see, I love greens and I love blues. I love the more muted colors.
Is there one color that stands out? I did ask this before.
Green.
Okay, so you can flat out say one color, green.
Yeah, definitely green.
Does that say something about you? Does that mean anything?
That's the botanical side of me, that I love plants.
Okay, it does, yeah.
And if you look in nature, how all the different greens work together. So you can take clashing greens and put them together, and they work.
Right.
It's because I'm inspired by nature.
Love it. And what else to be in this beautiful country that's surrounded by all of the nature, right?
Absolutely.
Do you think, you have to be unique, or do you strive to be unique in your creative endeavors?
So it's taken me a long time to totally find my style. I try and my posts on Instagram, and look, social media has been amazing. I never had that with my pottery business. There wasn't, I didn't have a website. I didn't have anything like that. So social media is, and also I find Instagram extremely supportive. So painters from all over the world, they support each other. So it's a feel-good thing. You get wonderful comments, you get all, likes, and it inspires you to carry on. So
I get what you're saying there.
I think I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you answered something else that I would have asked in any case, right?
So what did you ask me?
Do you think you need to be creative, unique in your creative endeavors?
Okay, so I think that everybody is creative. And I think as children, somewhere along the line, that creativity gets blocked by some somebody telling you that you can't do that, or because you want to do something different to what everyone else is doing and you're told you can't. Things happen, and that creativity gets blocked. But I see in my workshops people who walk in and they say that I'm not creative, and they walk out of there beaming because they realize that they are creative, and that is amazing for me.
I can relate to that statement. I mean, if I just look from a Qriket context, before I joined Qriket, I was one of those people that said, hey, I cannot be creative.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the most amazing creative person out there today, but I literally have to dream something up and the Qriket does the rest for me. But that's also still a form of creativity, right? Creating your own shirts as an example.
Exactly. Any kind of creativity, anything where you make something or you add something to something, you're creating something.
True. You mentioned earlier on about the community on Instagram, everybody being so supportive. I think that's the one thing that I'm still quite dumbstruck from when I came into this industry. I come from a tech IT industry, and this is completely different. And when I see the members, especially if you go into like our Qriket Family South Africa Facebook groups, the members are so supporting, encouraging, and inspiring each other the whole day.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've never seen it in my life, which is really, really cool to see. Okay, let's kind of see what's next.
Okay.
So what do you do to keep yourself motivated? Is there a secret recipe? What do you do to stay motivated?
I experiment with color. I mix a lot of colors. The Annie Sloan paint is
Other
like
than
work-
green?
Pardon?
Other than green?
No, I mix lots of colors. If I'm painting, so for my customers, obviously I can't paint everything green, but
Right.
I try when it's for me, I try and use green because I just feel good the whole day when I paint with green. I don't know. There's actually a scientific theory behind that.
Mm.
There's an Instagram page where there's apparently been research done about plants in your house and how good they are for your well-being.
Right.
So for me, I don't know, I just feel that. So when I'm painting with green, that whole day is just like a dream.
So now you're also using green.
I'm using green, so I'm happy.
That's amazing. I'd love to actually go and read up about that. And then has your role changed in your creative business? And how has it changed over the past years?
I think as I've matured, we don't have to go into the details, but I think I've just become more secure in my creativity. So I trust it. And I think that's a big thing.
Right.
To get to the point where you trust your own creativity.
When is that point? I think there's lots of people out
I think
there.
it might be someone might be lucky enough to get that in their early 20s and they know exactly what their style is and what they want to do. I've always made the pots I made were for the garden. So garden has always been a theme right throughout, but it just seems to be more. I'm just more confident in it now.
Okay, what advice would you have for somebody starting out today? I do see a lot of times comments that, hey, there's so much competition out there, or that person seems to be doing something better than I'm doing, or what kind of advice would you have somebody just starting out today? And obviously competition is tough, and there might be somebody that perceives to be better than you, but creativity is unique, right? So what advice would you have to somebody starting today?
I would really advise everyone to try and find it might not happen immediately, but try and find your own style that sits well with you, that just resonates with you. And then if you're going to take this to the next level and turn it into a business, photography, you need to learn a little bit about taking photographs, because if you're going to use Instagram and Facebook to promote your business, you need to have good photographs.
Okay.
So, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. And the more you do that as well, the better you become at it. So it's also about composition. So there's a few things you need to learn with photographs. You need to learn about composition, and then lighting is very important.
Why is the photo important?
Because that's what people are seeing on Instagram, that visual, that's their first that's what they see first. When they open up your page, your photographs that you need to catch them with your photographs.
Right.
Not
Okay.
catch them, that sounds, but you need to, get their attention.
Okay, makes sense to me. Maybe I can jump to the audience on this one. What do you guys do to keep yourself motivated? Okay, then what is the favorite part of your work?
That's hard. Because I love the thinking about the colors. I love the mixing of the colors. I love the painting. I love adding the texture. I love taking the photographs. So it's a combination, and I can't actually, if I have to pick something, it would have to be the actual painting.
Okay. And in terms of, you mentioned earlier on, you spoke about the business elements of your business. There's paperwork and things like that. Did you get out to go for training, or how did you get that under the belt?
Okay, so I only do it up to a certain point, but for me, when I'm talking about the paperwork right now in my current business, I have to quote a lot. So I have to I try and do it in the morning before I start my creative day and get that out of the way. But you have to, if I want my business to succeed, I have to quote. Right. And I have to quote quickly, because people send you information and they want a quote quickly. So you have to quote. Sometimes I miss WhatsApps or emails, and that happens because it's just me. So I always have to then ask for forgiveness, but I try and respond as quickly as possible. And then I have to book everybody in and I have to organize what colors, so all that kind of paperwork has got to get done. Sure. So I don't do the books. Okay. I do it up to a point, but then I do my own VAT returns, but the rest is done by a bookkeeper.
Okay. What is a typical day in Nan's day look like?
So I get up really early in the morning because we open at 7 because we're trying to get on top of our orders. Okay. So I'll do my paperwork that I have to do, the quotes and things for the first hour, which I must tell you, I don't enjoy, but I know that it's got to get done. So I've accepted that. And then it's a matter of seeing what the day's painting jobs are. And if there's, I try and have my own project going as well, because I have got people helping me paint. So they do the plainer work, and then I come in at the end and do the finishing touches. And then once a project is done, I take the photograph, and I really enjoy that. Like I say, I love taking the photos. I make my shop look like it's really something special, but it actually is it's very simple. I've got a white painted floor and it's peeling in places, but luckily with Photoshop, you can touch up all those imperfections. And yeah, so.
I think I wanted to maybe go a little bit deeper into the flow. You obviously bring, let's call it a table or any furniture to life in some of the things that you do at the shop. How does that typically look in terms of, let's say I'm the customer, I come to you and say, hey, this is the table, can you restore it? And then I think I've got a second question on top of that. Okay. What if the table comes out and I don't like what you've done with it? Does it happen a lot? What I'm actually trying to ask is how do you deal with some of the tough customers? Because a lot of the people out there will be facing very difficult people sometimes. How would you manage that, sir?
So my main objective in my business is to please my customers. And I keep them informed. So first of all, I'll ask them for photographs of their house so that I get a feel of their style in their house. Okay. And then I will send them some photos of pieces that I've done that I think would suit the piece of furniture that's there. And I keep them informed as we're going along. I'll take photographs of the process, not on all pieces, but especially when I know a customer is very fussy. Then I try and keep them involved all along so that there's no misunderstanding. Okay. And if it happens that I must tell you that 99% of the time, my customers are ecstatic. They can't wait to pay me because they love what I've done. But you do get the odd customer that maybe hasn't explained properly what they wanted, or doesn't maybe sometimes they don't really know and they don't know how to put it into words what they want, and I've got it wrong. I will do anything to fix that. And so I never say, sorry, I'm not going to, or I'm going to charge you extra, or we'll fix any issues.
I like that. I kind of like the fact that you mentioned in terms of your process, you get to understand and know your customer before you actually even start doing anything for them,
Yeah.
which helps you probably a lot in your journey for creating stuff for them,
Exactly.
which is really cool. So then I think we've all gone through trials and tribulations in our life and tough times. How do you endure them? Is there a secret recipe that you have that you stick to, and this, I'm going to get through this and I'll move on to the next thing?
Yeah, because obviously, I mean, my life hasn't been plain sailing. And even when, after I lost my son, Mark, and I decided to go into painting full time, it didn't happen straight away. I mean, I didn't have all those customers there. I had to build that up. So it is what it is. And you've just got to put your head to the grindstone and just carry on. And if you do it from within your heart, I do believe that it does, the money will come. You can't, I've just found that you can't do it for the money. You got to do it because you love it and because it's your passion, and the money will
come eventually. Do you find creativity or crafting or things like that being therapy? We find a lot of people, especially now during, like, let's call it the lockdown or COVID periods, a lot of our members have come out and said, hey, this has really helped me during this time mentally. It's therapeutical. How do you see it? How is it?
Oh no, well, for me it's kind of saved my life. So yeah, for me, and I see it with my customers, the ones that paint themselves. They come for a workshop and I can see that their spirit is lifted. Right. When they walk out, and they'll come back and tell me, this is just the best thing ever. It's helped me with my depression, or it's helped me with, any other issues that they're having in their life.
I think that's the amazing thing that I've come to realize since I've joined this industry is how soothing or therapeutical it can be, and how much it really means to some of our members. I think I'm going to ask them another question to let us know how crafting or Qriket, or what kind of role it's played in your life, especially in the past 2 years that we've had in this world. And I guess we started speaking so much. Are we still on track with what you need to do? I think we need to move
on to the next project, but I just want to quickly show them something.
Okay.
Because now I've done the green on the raised stenciling, but now we need to bring out that raised stenciling a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to the raised. So I'm just going very gently on this to.
Looks like snow falling on a Christmas tree.
Yeah. So it would be a great Christmas project.
So we've got Tasneem saying she loves creating things for others. That's pretty unique. I think when you look at Qriket members globally as well, about a third of our members like to create things that they either keep for themselves and admire. The other third likes to just give away things to family and friends. And then the other third, the last third is people creating businesses, using Qriket machines to start their own businesses.
Fantastic. Yeah. And even if you've got a business using your Qriket machine, I mean, I've never bought a card ever. Even before I had a Qriket machine, I've always made my own cards. So, and I think it's more personal when you give someone a gift that you've decorated the paper, you've bought brown paper and you've decorated it and you've made your own card. It's almost doesn't even matter what's inside that gift because you've made it personal.
True. I like that, sir. I think you're talking about giving gifts away. Qriket in the US is busy with a project called a company called the Birthday Project. Now we've been inspired by this project. There's lots of homeless kids and kids in homes and stuff like that. And what we do with the Birthday Project is we need to create 5,000 gifts. So our members are getting involved, and they're donating gifts that they make, like little shirts or baby grows or things like that, which is really cool to see how our communities are also getting involved. If you want to find out a bit more about that, it's not in our region yet. We're trying to see if we can bring it to our region, but jump onto the US Qriket blog and read about the Birthday Project. Okay, where we at, Nan?
Okay, so I'm not sure if we've got time now to do this vinyl. Do we have time?
How much time do you need?
I need to just print out the vinyl.
Well, let's print it. Let's
Okay,
see. Let's
so
see how far we go.
maybe I can start the other project while this is.
Go for it.
Okay. Right. Let me just get to design. Talking about design space. If any of you are deciding whether to take a subscription, I can really recommend it because there's just so much on there. You can find whatever you want on there.
I think that's the statement that I do like. I mentioned it earlier, and you can literally dream something up. And my dreaming is jumping onto the design space Qriket software and typing in something, and it will bring up thousands of different images that you can use, or even ready-made projects. So talking about design space and Qriket's functionality and stuff, how do you find it, Nan? You mentioned before you generally just use paintbrushes before and things like that. Now you're using a machine. Has that been a change in your life? Has it been difficult to adapt to that machine? Is it intimidating?
Yes, definitely intimidating. I only got it a couple of weeks ago, so I'm still learning a lot, but I am falling in love with it more and more every day.
I love that.
I'm finding more and more things that I can make with it. Let me just do this quickly.
And you've now connected to the Cricut Maker with your tablet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, while Nan is doing that, I'm going to jump onto the chat to kind of see what the members are saying here. I think the last question we asked is, how do you stay motivated? Kelly Jensen, I started my own business doing wooden kids furnitures after a bad retrenchment. I think there's lots of members that do speak like that they've had some tough times, especially after COVID. And I'm truly inspired to see how many women have picked themselves up and started their own businesses. There's a statistic in the US where the amount of people starting new businesses is double that, and that's female, which is really, really amazing to see in terms of statistics. Let's kind of go further. Dashmika says, Qriket is such a nice way to express yourself as a person. Can you relate to that, Nan?
Sorry, say that again.
Dashnika says, Qriket is such a nice way to express yourself as a person. Can you see that?
Absolutely. Okay, so this tablet is not doing what it should do.
Okay, let's have a look at it.
I'm pushing, it's the first time I'm using this tablet, so.
Okay, so you have selected your vinyl. All you have to do now is press
no,
the go
I
button.
didn't see it.
So it's a flashing little go. That's right.
Right.
Don't worry, Nan, I still don't know what I'm doing on a daily basis.
Okay.
Okay, so it's cutting. What are we cutting? Vinyl, right?
So we're cutting vinyl for this clipboard. So I've already sealed the top section of this with any Sloan chalk paint lacquer, but you could use any water-based sealer.
Okay.
I just feel that on the chalk paint that the vinyl might not stick as well as if it's been sealed. I think it's better to seal it first before you stick the vinyl on.
Just for somebody like me that does not know, when I hear the word chalk paint, is that something that you paint on and you can write like a chalkboard on it?
No. So it's called chalk paint, or it was initially called chalk paint because of the way it looked.
Okay.
Because it had a chalky appearance.
Right.
But it's not the same as chalkboard paint.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, yeah, so this next project that I'm going to do, you can use Annie Sloan chalk paint to dye fabric. So it's got the pigments in the paint are really strong. Okay. So this now it needs to be heat treated. So either with a dry iron or into your tumble dryer or out in the sun in summer.
Before you start the process?
No, after you've done this.
Okay.
And then it will be washed, and the paint won't come out.
Okay. Wow. Is that what you're busy doing now? Is that
no? That's for this sorry, I'm jumping ahead here.
No worries.
That's for this clipboard that I
Okay.
did. So we'll wait for that. Should I not carry on with this and then I'll put this
You
on?
can do just
Okay.
whatever you need to do.
I am a
yeah.
little bit like that. I do have
That's what
lots of
makes it
projects
amazing,
going
right?
on in one day at the shop.
You can multitask. I can't.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I just quickly, so you guys that sew, you can sew your own cushion covers. I can't sew, so I had to get someone to make it. And so I only did this yesterday for the first time because I discovered that I could make using craft foam. I've cut out shapes and I've used some reclaimed wood that we had lying in the garden, and I've glued them on with wood glue. And I've tried to mimic block printing from India because that's where it comes from. And they've got
What's
big wooden
block printing?
blocks. Pardon?
What is block printing?
Block printing is it's wooden blocks, so it's a big wooden block, but the wood has been carved out.
Okay.
And then they do the same thing. They
Right.
put the ink or the whatever that they use different kinds of dyes, and then they stamp. So it's always very symmetrical. So what I did was I just cut the size of my cushion out and worked out how to put the pattern on. So I did most of it. I'm just going to do 2 more here.
Okay. While you're busy with that, let me just jump back onto the chat again. Charlotte saying, I agree, everybody is creative in their own way. Cricut played an important role in my life. Remember, I asked, what is creativity or crafting or Cricut been part of your life in the last 2 years? A lot of people are asking for your Instagram handle, so hopefully you're going viral after this menu.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My creative journey only started at 47, right? Like you said, it's never too late, it's never too early. Is there perhaps I'm just trying to think out loud now, is there something that you could do to encourage and motivate or promote creativity at a young age? I've got a little 2-year-old. Is there anything you could do there?
Yeah, the schools need to be more aware of creativity, because I don't think, sports and academics and all those things come, but I think creativity should be a bigger part of schools.
Right.
Definitely.
I do know we did an exciting project in the Netherlands. I think it's the Netherlands or Germany, where we went to redecorate their schools with Cricut machines and things like that. So, we spoke about that internally in South Africa. We're looking at maybe doing that here as well. Where you at with that?
I just want to show, so I've just dipped my, not too much paint on here, and I'm just dabbing it on.
And you cut that craft foam on your Cricut, right?
I cut it, yeah, and I got the design off
Design Space.
Okay,
awesome.
Okay, so I just got to be careful where I place this. And you know what? Perfectly imperfect is also fine.
Somebody's given you a hashtag shades of green.
Shit. I forgot. Can you?
Yeah, what can I do?
No, okay, it's okay. It works.
It's perfect.
But you need to have something soft under your where you're working, what your fabric.
Okay.
So that you can push hard onto it.
Right.
Luckily, sure, it worked, even if I didn't do that. Okay. So putting some more paint. Careful not to get paint on, and if you do, just like wipe it off, because I'll show you where I got it on a little bit. Okay, let's quickly do this one.
Natasha is saying inspiration will come from everything around you.
Definitely.
Is it just the garden that inspires you? Or green? Or?
No, so there's, I mean, I don't, colors of buildings, because like I think it's in Spain, there's these beautiful old buildings that have all different colors, and in France as well, and Italy. So yeah, so architecture from way back also is very inspiring, because the patina is already there.
Right.
You know, the colors have muted and there's beautiful patina.
I don't even know what patina means, to be honest, Nan.
It's just the combination of so it's not a flat color. There's all different things coming through that color.
Okay.
So there, I finished that. So I'm very happy with it. And like I said, it's also about, it is about perfectly imperfect. things don't have to be perfect.
So now once you're done with that, you said you just need to treat it a bit of heat and then,
So yes, so now if it was summer, I would just put it outside in the sun,
okay.
and the sun would heat treat it. Otherwise, you can put it in a tumble dryer for a few minutes, or with a dry iron, and then it's ready to get washed.
Awesome.
I've used white paint on a fabric, and then dip dyed it in a color,
Yeah.
and the white has stayed white.
Wow.
And I've had cushions at home that I stenciled years ago, and they've been washed, I don't know, lots and lots of times, and
And
it
it's still there.
fades slightly, but this paint doesn't. It's amazing.
That's really amazing. Then I
So-
do believe we need to I think we need to kind of close off on the craft.
Okay,
because
so to save time, should I use the one that I've already cut out?
I think so. Let's do
Okay.
that. So she did cut it there again, but luckily we have a spare one that was cut out before.
Just in case of issues, and I need to just find my clipboard.
So I'll try and ask all of the people that I've had on the show this question about weeding, where you have to weed between the vinyl to take out the negative parts. Do you find that difficult or challenging or therapeutical?
If it works, I find it therapeutic. If it doesn't work,
Frustrating.
so I haven't had many. This part is easy. The probably the most
That part,
difficult
that's the
part.
one I'm asking
So,
about, weeding when you use those tools.
I watched a couple of tutorials, and it seems to be if you peel your vinyl off your, if you peel your mat off your vinyl rather than your vinyl off your mat, it seems to help. I don't know if that's.
I don't know. I find it frustrating myself, but my wife loves it. She's the patient one, and she's generally the weeder in our home.
What I've definitely found is if you cut around that to get to just a small border around your whatever you've printed out, it makes it easier as well.
Okay.
So don't have this big border around the edge.
Makes a lot of sense.
So this one's coming off really. I think I already rolled it with the brayer.
Okay.
So
it's coming off quite
it's
easy.
coming off easily, yeah.
So once you're done with that, we are going to jump into a Q&A.
Okay.
While you're completing that, let me kind of see if there's any more further comments. Melisha says, motivation is key. My kids are my inspiration in all aspects of my life. Be true to yourself and what makes you tick. That's Alna's advice. I mean, that's something that I really love about this community, and it's just everybody is so helpful and always inspiring each other on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Okay, while we're busy waiting for Nan to complete that off, I'm going to start asking our members. I think we'll do the prize giving at the end. So we will first jump into a Q&A. So if you have any questions for myself or towards Qriket or towards Nende or HobbyX, please ask the questions on the Q&A box. So jump from the actual chat to the actual Q&A box, and we'll start looking what's going on in there and answering a couple of questions before we get to the final prize giving of this exciting series.
Okay, so
Are you winning?
I am. It's nearly off. And before we start that, can I just show the stenciling? I'm not going to do the stenciling. Luckily, I've already done one section of it.
Of course you can. It's coming out so nicely. You guys will probably be able to see with the top of your camera afterwards. There we go.
There we go. All good. It's going to be back to front, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, so I know we haven't got time for me to do this, but I made this stencil also from a design from Design Space.
Okay.
And stenciling is a great way to add some character to your furniture. And especially even if you don't do a stencil on the outside, do a stencil on the side of your drawer. It's a nice surprise, or inside your drawer. It's a nice surprise when you open up the drawer and you've got this beautiful stencil inside.
That is true. It is unique.
So that, and just to show you this, oh wait, let me show you this rather. So I made
pick up the breadboard. Carry on, show
I made these herb labels. So these are done with vinyl, and that's done with a stencil. So I first painted some dark green, of course, green, and then stenciled on there. So that's a quick show. And then there's a bread.
I think I get to see this in real life. I did see this on your
You saw,
Instagram,
I
but
did post it.
it
So
really
probably
looks,
some of our ladies they've seen it already, but I thought it was a
it
good
looks
example.
really cool in real life,
Yeah.
guys. Okay,
Perfect.
are we done then?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, now let's turn our attention to our lovely members to see if they've got any burning questions. It seems like there's already 14 questions in there.
Time goes fast when you're
It
having
does.
fun.
I can't believe it's been a whole month already, and tomorrow is the 1st of September, which is spring in South Africa, which is really exciting. Can't wait. I think I heard on the radio, winter is gone in many days, many ways, not just the seasons, but I think a lot of people are glad the winter is finished now.
It's been
And we're on to
been a
brighter
tough
times,
winter.
right? Yeah, it's
Mm.
been a tough one. Okay, so will the Cricut machines be on sale at Hobby X? We do plan, if we do plan to go ahead with Hobby X, we will have a retail outlet there with one of our partners. So that's a yes, Yasmin. Hello, Martin. For first timers, what will be the best advice buying a Cricut machine? Talia, I think the best advice would be understand what do you really want to do with the machine. We have different types of machines that's almost has the same functionality. Some of them just have more functionality. And I'll give you an example. If you only want to do things like iron on shirts or like pillowcases, as Nan showed, or if you want to cut vinyl there to decorate your mugs or glasses or your phone covers or something like that, I would recommend the Joy if you're only going to be doing vinyl and iron-on. But if you want to step up into, I would say, more advanced projects, you know, you can look at the Cricut Maker, which can engrave, it can cut balsa woods. It's just the versatility of a Cricut Maker, where you can cut 300 different types of materials, including leather as an example. You can do so much more with it. But if you're really only going to be doing vinyl and iron-on, the Joy is perfect for that. Nan, what is your advice for someone just starting?
I would try and establish what market you're going to be wanting to supply, and then find something that you love to supply that market.
Okay, I agree. And another one, Melanie is asking, I think this one is good for you. What is the stencil material called, and can you buy it in South Africa?
Yes, you can buy it in South Africa, and it's called Mylar. And I use the 190 micron, because
Okay.
there's different microns. There's 250 and 350, but I found those were quite difficult to cut. So the 190 is perfect.
Okay. And I think the next one is for Hobby X. You got more on that, sorry?
Oh, no. So I think Joanna has all the details of where to buy the Mylar.
Okay. We'll try and see if we can post it on our community groups, the Cricut
Okay.
family groups. I think the next question is more for Hobby X, or well, it's for us as well. Where can I find the videos to see the process Nan has just used? We'll work closely with Hobby X to publish it and make sure that the links get sent out to all of the people that have registered today or are attending today.
Can I say something about the stencils as well? Because
You may,
yeah.
please do.
What I found worked best was if I made a specific stencil material that was already set to cut 3 times, because you need to cut it 3 times to get it through.
Okay, all right, that's good advice. Thank you. Okay, the next question is, I see somebody's answered that already. I don't have a Cricut yet, but I'm starting with the arts and creativity more seriously now. Shanae, we're excited to have you, and I'm sure you're going to love the journey that you've just started. Which Cricut machine is best for starting a business? Again, Roxanne, it really depends on what business you want to start. And that's also a popular question is, what do I do, or what type of business do I start with Cricut? And it's something that we encourage our members to try and understand. What is your niche? What is, and like Nan said earlier, find something that you love or a passion for. You know, your mind might run all over the place, and I want to do this, I want to print t-shirts, and I want to make cards, and I want to do that. And you literally can do all of that with the Cricut machine. But the simple advice that we have is start with something, start with one thing, find your niche, something that you really love, and start building and expanding from that. So, because you kind of will get lost if you're trying to do everything at one time. What's the best to buy for first timers? Again, it really just depends on what you want. If you're a super creative person, you love crafts, and you know you're going to be spending a lot of time with it, I would suggest investing in a maker, because eventually you are going to be wanting to cut plywood or basswood, or you are going to want to engrave, or you want to emboss things. But if you know that you're literally just going to personalize things like around your home, the jars in the kitchen, or personalize things in different areas of the house, or shirts or things like that, you could easily step down to a Cricut Joy or an Air Explore 2. How much is the Cricut Maker in Dubai? Renisa, just jump onto our Cricut Family Middle East group. We do publish our authorized resellers on there, and please get in touch with the authorized resellers to kind of see what they're advertising in terms of pricing. We are rolling out in the Middle East as we speak. Nan, this is an interesting question. What's the best piece of art that you've created? One that stands out?
Yeah, there is one that stands out. A couple of years ago, I painted a very old cabinet with a technique called frottage, and it was chosen to go into the very prestigious magazine on Annie Sloan that comes out twice a year. So,
wow.
So that's a worldwide publication, and so that probably is my
well done.
My best piece.
I think we're all going to go jump onto your Instagram and to go see it. Is it there?
It is there. Yeah, it's a way. It's a little. I did it about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay.
But
is it for sale?
It was sold. Lucky, I wish I kept it. It was sold.
Oh, okay. Well,
to
that's
a very good customer, though.
A very good one.
Yeah, who I know loves it. So
I love that question, by the way. Thank you, Farzana. Okay. I think we have time for one more question. Let's try and see if there's one more for you, Nan.
okay.
Okay, so here is a question for you, Nan. So, Nan, how has the Cricut helped you with your journey? Obviously, it's only been recently, but how has it helped you on your journey?
Okay, so I've always used stencils in my business, but I've always had to have them made. This now gives me the freedom to think of an idea at 6 o'clock in the morning, and when I get to work at 7 o'clock, I can make it. Well, maybe not straight away. I've got to look for the design, but I can have it on the project before lunchtime. So that is amazing. I can make my own cards in the shop. The possibilities. This block printing, I'm so excited about, because I just see so many possibilities there, because you can use that block printing on furniture as well. It doesn't have to only be on fabric.
Okay. Wow.
So you can create a block printed look. Now, I've always been trying to create that block printed look on my furniture using stencils. Now I can use these.
You can now use the Cricut. Am I correct in saying, and we do see this globally, that the Cricut kind of saves you time and money, because in the past you had
Absolutely.
to outsource all of this work to get it. It takes time, costs you more money when you can now actually do it on your own, right?
Yeah, and it's exciting to find new things every day that I can make.
You can even upload your own images, right? You don't have
I've
to
done
just
that
use
already.
Okay,
I've
you
done
see,
that
look at that
already.
smile. She's super excited. I think I'm getting the hints from the crew at the back that we need to now unfortunately wrap up. I think before I am going to go into a couple of things, it is time to announce our winner. What does our winner win today? It's a maker, right? A maker to the value of 8,000 Rand.
Wow.
I am going to leave the honors of announcing the winner to Nan. Nan, can you please tell us who has won?
Tasneem Gordon. Wow.
Well done, Tasneem. I think with that, Nan, it's been a pleasure having you.
It just went so quickly.
Too quick.
Yeah,
way
I've got more
too
to
quick.
show you.
It was quite funny in the beginning. I was going through the questions and I was like, well, we're not going to have enough time, or we're going to have too much time left, and it just goes so quick. I think I just want to end with a couple of words of thanks to, there's been so many people involved. The most important people are you, our members that are joining on all of these calls. We've had so much engagement, so much excitement pre and after these webinars. We love having you as our members. Thank you for joining us, for your patience, your loyalty and support. We hope to keep on improving and inspiring you and bringing more Qriket to you so that you can have fun, let your creativity bloom and inspire others around you. A very big thanks has to go to Yuwalna Nolta, that has kind of set this whole thing up on her own. She's run it with so much passion, behind the scenes, lots of hard work. We don't see what goes into all of this. It has run flawlessly and smoothly, and I am very pleased to see the results. So Yuwalna, thank you so much for everything, not that you've just done for this webinar series, but everything that you do in general. I also do have to thank HobbyX, which is our partner in this webinar series. I'm pretty sure that based on the results of this, we all had fun. Our members had fun. I'm sure we're going to do lots more in the coming months and years to come. Pole Crew, thank you so much for allowing us to come and shoot this at your amazing venue at Pretville in Hartbeespoort, as well as being our cameraman. We really love that, that you've hosted us, and I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot more things with you in future as well. And then lastly, but not least, well, two more. It kind of feels like I'm in a wedding, and just to saying thank you to everybody. I have to, right? I have to just also thank our distributors, our partners, our ambassadors, and our admins in our Facebook groups. There's so much things happening behind the scenes, and I'm so humbled every day to see where we've come from nothing in January when we just launched in this region and to where we are today. I am super humbled and amazed. Thank you very much, everybody. Nan, before we hand over to Marlene, it was an amazing pleasure to have you. I hope I can get to spend some more time with you, because you have inspired me. Good. And I am a fan. Before we hand over, is there anything that you want to close off with?
I'm just so grateful for all the stuff in my life at the moment. So and you know, I never take anything for granted.
Thank you, Nan. With that, back to Marlene. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
Wow. All I can say is thank you so much, Nan, for blessing us with your presence today. You've inspired us all, and thank you for showing us how to use our creativity in just our everyday lives. And there's just no option to give up in life. We need to grab every day and show others compassion and strength. Thank you, Nan. We really enjoyed it, and we appreciate you. To Martin and Yuwalna, thank you for celebrating women the way you did this month, for your support and inspiration in the industry, and for being so kind to everyone all the time. We had so much fun in each and every webinar, and we are looking forward to see what you will be bringing to HobbyX. To all the viewers, thank you for your support, and we hope to bring you more exciting webinars soon. And go check out our HobbyX website, where you can rewind and rewatch all the previous webinars. To everyone, good day, take care, stay safe, and have a lovely day. Take care. Bye.